Spence Ugas coming up in less than 2 weeks, I think, so I better get on it. And we're going to see, I think, more so in this fight than Danny Garcia, if there's any ill effects from Earl's past mishaps, meaning the car accident, the detached retina, and downtime. In Ugas, this guy knows southpaws. I mean, we don't have to talk about the Cuban background, how many southpaws he must have fought in the amateurs. But I learned he was really good against southpaws when the fight was canceled with Earl and Pacquiao. I did a video on that when I had Earl beating Pacquiao, and then that was canceled because of the detached retina. So Ugas picks that fight up. So I looked in Ugas a little bit, and I wanted to pick a southpaw he had fought, a good one, and I found Perella. So I did a takeoff on that, and that's how I learned. So we're going to go over how good Ugas is against a southpaw a little bit with Perella. And I believe Bryant Perella has a fight this Saturday coming up. I think he'll open up on the main card on Showtime. And they got him on the B side. I think he's fighting an undefeated fighter, but I got Perella winning that fight. You know, he's with Roy Jones now, Pensacola, Florida, and he's got White Lightning to spar with, who I used to train here at the Hell Garage until I retired. So White Lightning is now with Roy Jones. He's also having a fight coming up, I think, in 2 weeks. 4-0, 3 knockouts. So you might want to check Andrew Murphy out. Let's get right into Ugas now. He has a few tricks with the southpaw he does, and he's on to them. And he has a lower level, which he usually uses on opponents his size or maybe a little taller, as was Perella, 6'1", I think. Ugas is 5'9", or Earl Spence 5'9.5". So I believe he'll use these lower levels on Earl. So what he does, it's like a feint, and he drops down. He makes you throw with his initial move. So it's, but his head's not there. So he brings this leg out, drops down, the southpaw fires with the left hand, and then he comes over with that wide overhand right, or not really wide, but overhand right. And he does this more than once. And one time he knocked Perella down with that move. Ugas is also on to the southpaw tricks, which I had a video out. My past video was Tricks of the Southpaw, Josh Taylor. And it describes what Ugas, I even have what Ugas did in that video, what you can do against a southpaw. So I'll explain that a little bit, and it just shows how smart this guy is. I'm trying to show you guys against a southpaw. So southpaws should be moving like this, you know. But they set a trap and move this way. So you got your front leg on the outside of his, false sense of security. They want you to throw the right hand now. You're in position, the orthodox fighter, in the position. So all they do is move this way a little bit. You throw the right hand, you go for it. All they do is slip, and boom, they got you. But Ugas is even onto that, and you'll see in a little bit. So Perella's kind of moving this way a little bit. He's trying to set him up for that. But Ugas does it like a double counter. So Ugas, real patient, not going for it, not throwing the right hand. And you know, his foot now, Perella's got his outside foot, and Ugas's head is right where Perella wants it. So Perella goes for it. Ugas doesn't even throw the right hand. So Perella goes for it. Ugas Now does the slip and counters the southpaw. Another thing Ugas does, I tell my fighters, when you're fighting a southpaw conventional, don't line up right in front of them and then throw the jab, You're supposed to be offset anyway, but, to set the right hand up, but it really helps on the jab. So if you're right in front, you would hit gloves. So you want to be jabbing over their right jab hand. And plus you can see a right hook coming better. The vision is all there. You're focused on that, his right hand. Rather than here, a right hook come around like that. So Ugas is on to that. Now, Earl Spence, being Earl Spence, he is so tight, defense and offense. Ugas is too, but he's not as tight as Earl. So let's pick this apart a little bit. His dip on southpaws. Leaves himself wide open like that. You know what happened to Sean Porter in the 11th round with Earl Spence when he was down like this? Ugas loves to counter with the right hand. Whether it be a conventional fighter throwing their jab out, he can counter. He loves slipping, even the southpaw, when they throw. He doesn't necessarily have to be on the outside foot. He'll come over here, like I was telling you, and entice the southpaw so he can counter. He loves to counter with that right hand. Earl Spence takes all that away. First off, Ugas is better at countering the conventional fighter's jab. That's not going to happen. Earl Spence, as you know, is southpaw. And Earl, you're not going to counter Earl on the jab. So now Ugas is going to try to counter Earl when he throws the left hand, because he likes to counter with the right hand. That's not going to happen either, as you'll see in some videos here. So I'm going to make this short and simple, since people say I go on too long on these videos. So I've been trying to make them shorter. I got Earl Spence in a 12-round decision over Ugas just because he's tighter. He won't make the mistakes Ugas when he gets a little excited. And here's kind of what I mean too. And Earl takes a lot of his counters away. I mean, Danny Garcia couldn't counter Earl Spence, and he's the counter king, actually. So there you have it, 12-round decision, Earl Spence. But I'll tell you what, if anyone can conquer a southpaw, it's Ugas. So this will be a fun one. All right, thanks for watching, guys.